What's going on, everybody? We're back for another special episode. We got 2 in a row. This is like Christmas, more or less, right? We're close enough. We'll say it's Christmas. So we got our second Super League interview right here, right now with Madi Parsons, goal scorer extraordinaire, assist extraordinaire, player of the month, player of the week, player of the year, I don't know, all the accolades. We're going to just drop them all in there. But we are being joined by her today. Myself and Dylan are on. Kyle couldn't be with us this time. I'm not going to say the marathon joke again. We'll come up with some other excuse some other time that's, grand and adventurous. But we're super excited to bring you guys this interview. We're extremely excited to have Madi on. We've been wanting this to happen for a while. And with it being a break right before we lead into our final 2 games before winter break, it feels fortuitous. So, Madi, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been recovering from a little bit of sickness, so excuse my voice, but I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the pod. I've listened every week, and so I'm excited to finally be on it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of you guys's.
You probably just gave every fan like a slight heart attack, saying that you were really good. They're like, no, but Brooklyn's happening soon. But we can rest assured she's all good. And it means a lot to us that you listen. That's it really does.
Yeah, it
Like
really does.
every listener is huge for us, but it's always one of those surreal moments when a player listens or watches, even if it's just like, I watched one time, I'm still like, oh, okay. All right. So we
Yeah,
really appreciate the support.
it
Yeah,
means
of
a
course.
lot.
Yeah, I like hearing your guys' perspective on on the games and what's going on and everything. It's an interesting perspective. I love hearing it. So
Cool.
yeah.
So, Maddie, you just got back from Cali, right? A visiting family. I just like kind of start out like, how have you adjusted to Lexington? I know it's pretty different from California. How has Lexington treated you? How have you kind of settled in?
Yeah, it's been quite an adjustment. The farthest I've ever been from my family has been 2 hours. So moving 33 hours across the country, it's been a whirlwind to say the least. But having Lexington Sporting Club, the whole, the fans, the all the staff involved and the players have really made the adjustment really easy. And so yeah, and we're so busy with our schedule and stuff that it's easy to get distracted from the fact that I'm so far from my family. But yeah, I'm adjusting well. So
When
Awesome.
when you're not playing, and like you said, there's very rarely any free time with your busy schedule. But like when you do have free time, what are you up to? Like how do you like to relax?
yeah, so I love shopping at TJ Maxx. So I am a deal finder.
Nice.
I love finding a good deal. So you will usually find me at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. It's a whole ordeal going in there because I don't know if you guys have ever been there, shopped there, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's not organized. So it
No.
Yeah.
takes some time sorting through everything to find the good deals. But yeah, TJ Maxx, Marketplace. I'll just be laying in bed at night, just scrolling through, looking at for all the deals. I get that from my mom. So my mom is a deal finder, a deal hunter, and I definitely took after her. But yeah, I mean, I love watching movies and Netflix and stuff with my roommates when we do have that free time in the afternoon. So yeah, I mean, I love riding quads. That's not something I can do right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's something that I grew up doing with my family. I love doing that. So yeah.
What
Yeah.
what's a good movie that you've seen lately?
Well, we just watched Moana again because we're gonna go
Okay.
watch
Yeah.
Moana 2.
Yeah,
So that
that
was
is a good one.
it's a good feel good.
Hmm.
It's a good one. So
Hmm.
My oldest, he was obsessed with Moana like from 2 to 4. Now he's kind of like, I don't know, it's okay. And I'm like, what do you mean it's just okay? We watched that for 2 years straight. And now like I'm obsessed with it because I've been like completely brainwashed by The Rock. But I love it. We took him to go see Moana 2 and everything, and it was good. I'm
you
not.
saw the second one?
Yeah, we went and took him
It's
this
worth
past
a
weekend.
go, right?
It's good, yeah. I
Okay.
will say it kind of like sets you up for a part 3. First one feels a little bit more complete. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, it was solid. We enjoy our Disney movies in our family.
Because I'm not a huge moviegoer. Like to get me to
Yeah.
go to the movie theaters is a big deal. So Moana 2 is doing that for me. So we'll see.
Yeah, you
I'm
got to
with you on
report
that.
back.
Yeah, I will.
I like the deal finding that you're talking about. It reminds me a lot of like my wife. She's always like on the hunt for deals, and
Mine too.
places like TJ Maxx and stuff. She's like, all right, it's like going through all the things. I feel like I'm with Indiana Jones looking for like lost treasure. It's like a whole thing. And then whenever she finds something, she's like, this here is on a mega sale, and look how great it is. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that black leather jacket that I wore to the game, I think it was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I got that. It's normally a $200 jacket, and I got it for $30. So like, it's stuff like that just it's exhilarating. There's nothing better than it.
You could go.
I mean, can't beat it.
You could go to the local thrift stores in town. They have a lot of really good stuff. And like
Yeah.
afterwards, I'll hit you with some names.
Okay.
Dylan's got
But
the
yeah,
scoop.
I mean, my problem is that I find so many deals, and so
Mhm.
I end up spending more money because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a deal, you know, $5 here, $10 here, $20 here, and it just ends up adding up to more than if I just purchased, you know, a full price item. But
I call that the Bath and Body Works effect. My wife always got trapped by them. They'd be like, you buy 10 of these lotions, you get a candle. And she's like, you get a candle.
I was just there the other day because they had the lowest prices for the wallflowers. And so, of course, I stocked up and got like 10 of them. Again, spent like $60 on them. But, you know, I got the deal. Don't worry.
You got the deal. Hey, at least there is a deal to be had, right?
Yes.
It could be no deal.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we like to kind of help everybody get to know players a little bit more, like humanize everybody, because, you know, everybody gets caught up. You guys are pro soccer players, which is like crazy. And we're like, oh my gosh. And we just kind of see you as like these shining beacons of athleticism and everything. But just hit us with like a Madi Parsons like fun fact.
A fun fact. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Something like maybe we wouldn't know, or like it's interesting, or I don't know.
I'm going to hit you the one that I gave the Lexington team.
Okay.
I was haunted by a ghost, and I still kind of have experiences with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was my sophomore year of college. I was having some scary instances with the ghost. So
what?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Was it like no matter where you went, or was it just like at your dorm or something? Or
no, so it was actually in my apartment. And at first, like it was like a 3 to 4 day, you know, ordeal that this was going on. But it started out just like the light turning on, and then, you know, it sounded like somebody was out walking in our kitchen. And every single time I went out there, nobody was out there. And, you know, my roommates at the time knew that like I was kind of freaked out by that stuff. And so I was like, are you guys doing this?
Right.
Like, if you're messing with me, please stop, because I'm really freaked
Yeah.
out. And it continued like night after night. It happened for like 2 or 3 nights before my roommate actually started hearing stuff. And then at that point, all of my feelings were validated, and then I completely lost it.
So,
like, did you like move right away?
Yeah. So what did you do to solve it? Did you move right away, or did you burn the house down?
Well, so I got my mom involved in everything. She was calling the apartment complex, like seeing if somebody had like passed away there. You know, we're just trying to figure out what is going on. So my family's LDS. And so I ended up having the LDS missionaries come and bless the house. And I haven't had any issues since. I will say I'm kind of starting to have issues again in our hotel rooms while we've been traveling. 3 different hotel toilets have stopped working with 3 different roommates. And so I'm starting to think that it might be my ghost trying to mess with me a little bit. You know, it's harmless, but like, yeah. The first time it happened, I was like, oh, that's weird. And then the second time the toilet stopped working, I was like, oh, that's weird. And then the third time, I was like, all right, something's going on.
That I don't know. I'm not sleeping tonight now.
Yeah, I think it's time to break out the sage or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah. I got enough lights on.
All my teammates are gonna hate to room with me now. They're like, we're not rooming with her.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, but maybe you can just kind of like channel the ghost vibes, like make like a deal and be like, look, can you just maybe like help on the field whenever a player is like running away with the ball, maybe give him a quick jersey tug and
like a Slimers and Ghostbusters
trip over your feet, fall flat on your face, kick the ball to my feet, perfect, wide open goal.
Yeah. Make this a symbiotic relationship. Yes. Oh man. Yeah, that is a top tier fun fact. I mean, it's not a good fact. That's terrifying.
It's not,
but it's a top tier one.
It's a fact.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, and I was rehabbing my knee at the time. I was in college, and I just go into my athletic trainer, and it's all over my face. I probably slept like 6 to 8 hours over the course of those 3 days because I was so freaked out and so paranoid
Yeah.
about it. And she looked at me, she's like, "Are you okay?" And those words, oh, I just lost it, bawling my eyes out. Like it was bad. And then she sent me
Jeez.
to the student health center. And she's like, "Okay, just go there, like let them help you, whatever." And of course, I'm explaining this whole situation to the doctors, and they're looking at me like I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, here's some medicine to sleep. Go home and rest." And I'm like, "I can't go home. I don't feel safe
No.
there."
No. This reminds
Oh,
me of like the video they put out where they were asking the guys team if they believed in ghosts. And then like whenever Eric was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And then Mane's face was like, "Wait a second. Like they're real?" Like I feel like this would blow his mind. Oh
well,
man.
it's funny because we saw that video and
Uh-huh.
everybody was like, "Oh, they should ask you." I was like, "Yeah."
Oh man, that's crazy.
Jeez. Oh man. Now I've got like the willies. We should have done
Yeah.
this at Halloween. If only we had gotten you right before Halloween, it would have been perfection. But I guess we can just spin it like Ghost Christmas Pass. It
Yes.
still flies. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
The
we're
ghost theme
good.
still works.
Yes.
We're good. So, do you have any favorite clubs that you follow, or maybe like specific players?
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge watcher of soccer. I'm not. I
Yeah.
watch it. I do watch it. I'm just not
Hmm.
a loyal fan like some of my teammates are. But if I am gonna watch, I am a Real Madrid fan,
Okay.
so I will watch them. The NWSL, obviously, we will watch those games. But yeah, I watch our games too.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that's cool. I've actually seen more and more players giving that answer, not like
Yeah.
just from Lexington, but just in general, like interviews elsewhere. Like I can imagine, your whole life is soccer. You're playing it and it's your profession. It's probably like not necessarily a chore, but to think to be like, now I'm gonna watch another 5 hours of four other teams playing, it's probably like, I'd actually like to just kind of do something that's not soccer related. So I've noticed a lot more of that answer coming up, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, who's going to say anything like you're Maddie Parsons?
Yeah, before I came to Lexington, I
Mhm.
was consistently watching La Liga and stuff.
Yeah.
But since I got here, again, there's a work-life balance, and it's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
weird to say that soccer is my work, but like there is a work-life
Yeah.
balance there.
Yeah.
Fair.
And again, there's so much film that we're watching on ourselves and our opponents in this
Mhm.
own league that sometimes I just need a break. But my roommate,
Yeah.
Alyssa Frazier, she is big on soccer. So we do have the games on. So I watch occasionally. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just like, can we switch it back to Moana for a second? Nice.
I mean, kind of spinning that question a little bit, but is there like a player that maybe like throughout your career that you maybe modeled your game after?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a specific player that I model my play after. I think that it's more like a combination of multiple players
Yeah.
into one. Um, I think that two of them that have kind of had a really big impact that I've enjoyed watching growing up has been like Carly Lloyd and
Mhm.
Julie Ertz. I think
Okay.
that yeah, both of them have an extremely hard work ethic. And I guess at this level, once you get to this level, we all kind of have it, but it's very obvious, with their work ethic. And their playing style is similar to mine. Julie Ertz goes into tackles and she goes in hard. She's winning those balls. So yeah, and then I mean Carly Lloyd. I mean the goal that she scored. I think it was against Japan, right? The one where she scored from half
Mhm.
field. I mean
Yeah.
stuff like that. Just like taking chances and risks. Yeah, it's just something that I'd admired, growing up and watching them play. So
Those are two of
Yeah.
my favorites. Because Carly Lloyd is from like the South Jersey area where I'm from, and then Julie Ertz, Zach Ertz, was the tight end for the Eagles for the longest time and won the Super Bowl. So I was always a big Julie Ertz fan as well. So those are two of my favorite players.
well, and Julie Ertz was the first player that like I really kind of noticed that she had a similar body style to me. Like she
Mhm.
has the bigger quads, the thighs and stuff that I've never really seen
Mhm.
up until she started playing, which was awesome to see. See a player that has my body style and my body type. That was awesome to see.
That's always cool whenever you can see a player that you're just like, okay, I can see something of myself in them. And then you can kind of just get that little extra boost of confidence because you're like, okay, it can be done. Like they have my same style, they have my same mindset, they have my same everything. And that's cool. And I'm like you, I like players that are really aggressive and just like go for it. A lot of my favorite players are defenders. I played defender when I did play, and I was on the opposite side. I always got like a thrill from like stopping attackers, and so like the really aggressive center backs and stuff. I'm like, yes, it gets me so hyped to watch. That's really cool.
I like being aggressive as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I know. So we got all those goals. So maybe kind of talk us through in general, like your soccer journey, right? Because this is your first pro team that you've been a part of. So you've had an interesting soccer journey. Kind of like how has that gone, and what's kind of provided inspiration or drive for you along the way?
Yeah, this is a long one. So,
Okay, yeah, we're here.
yeah, so I mean, I started playing soccer when I was probably 4 or 5. And then when I stepped up to the competitive level, I actually started playing goalie. So I
Hmm.
played goalie for, probably 4 or 5 years, the beginning years of my competitive career. Um, and I hated it, absolutely hated it. I wanted to get on the field any chance that I got. And then when I finally got a chance to go out onto the field, I actually was playing center back. And then after a few years, I moved to the six. And I played the six for the majority of holding mid for,
Okay.
not soccer terms.
Yeah,
Holding
yeah.
um, for the majority of my club career. I played for Sean Michael Callahan, who I credit most of my soccer success. He taught us how to be great soccer players, but he also taught us how to be professional in this setting. But yeah, and then I committed to Chico State, and I went there for 4 years.
Hmm.
Didn't go as smoothly as what I wanted it to.
Yeah.
My first year I came in, I had a knee surgery. And so I
Hmm.
redshirted my freshman year. And then it was the first game back from recovering from that injury in the spring. I hurt my other knee and I had to have
Mm.
another surgery.
That's so tough.
Yeah. And then 3 games in from recovering from that knee surgery, my junior year, COVID hit and everything was shut down.
Mm.
So I was there for 3 years, had not seen the field at all.
Man.
And then I stuck it out and I came back my senior year and I did play that final year. Um, and so I was fortunate enough to have parents that were able to, financially support me through those 4 years of college. But they said 4 years is all you get, just because I
Yeah.
didn't need a master's to go into the industry that I was, planning on going into. That they're like, all right, if you're gonna stay and play soccer, then you're gonna have to pay for your schooling and everything. You're on your own.
Hmm.
And so I had to make the hard decision to stop playing at Chico State. Um,
Hmm.
and then after I was done playing, I was kind of embracing just being a college student, which was something I'd never experienced before.
Hmm.
I wasn't working out or playing at all, actually, for probably a good like 3, 4, 5, 6 months of just, not really doing anything. And then one of my roommates at the time played in a 7v7 recreational game or recreational
Yeah.
pickup league. And she was like, hey, why don't you come out? And I was like, you know what? Like, if I'm going to work out, I'm going to at least play soccer. Like, that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to do. And so, yeah, I ended up in the 7v7 recreational league in Chico, California. And then some of the guys out there that I was playing with were like, oh, we have pickups on the weekend. Like, you should come out and play pickup on the weekend. And so I started coming out on Saturdays, and they're like, oh, we actually have some on Sundays. And then I started going out on Sunday. And then they're like, oh, we actually have them on Tuesday and Thursday. And so it kind of just started. I just ended up playing soccer every single day, through pickup or through the 7v7 league. And one of the guys I played with at pickup ended up inviting me to go play with his all men's Sunday league team. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up in that Sunday league. I played there for probably a year and a half, before I joined the UPSL, Yuba City UPSL team.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, at that point, my schedule was absolutely crazy. Like, I was playing every single day. I had a Sunday league game and I had a UPSL game on Saturday. Like, I was just playing an insane amount of soccer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, and then through the UPSL league, that's where I met my agent. And at first I was explaining my story, and when people hear my story, like I have 6 stats to my name in college. I played 1 year of college, so it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing like wow, there was no wow factor to my story at all. But he ended up sending me the combine that was back in December of last year. And he was like, "Do you want to go to this?" And at first I was like, I'm good. I have my
Yeah.
soccer, the way like my soccer schedule right now is great. But my mom and people around me, all my friends and family, were really encouraging me to go. They were like, just go and see. If you go out there and you hate it, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
And so I kind of came out here just to kind of gauge on where I actually was at, because in my small town in Chico, I was good. But I was
Yeah.
like, how good am I? Can I compete at this high level?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I came out here to the combine last December and did pretty well. I got recognized
Yeah.
by Michelle Rayner and Mike Dickey. And they actually reached out to me like pretty quickly after the combine. And I just told them, I was like, I am freaking out. I'm overwhelmed right now. Like, I need a second. And so they ended up, just giving me a few weeks to kind of digest on what's going on. Just because soccer was never in my life plans. Playing
Yeah.
soccer professionally, yeah, it's never been in my life plans. And so when the opportunity presented itself, it was really scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a little bit of an interesting story, but I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful to be here, and choosing to come out here has been one of the best decisions of my life. So.
That's really awesome. Like I can imagine how like intense the pressure is trying to be like, wait a second, is this what I'm gonna do? Is this what I want to do? And thinking through that, because sometimes it's really weird whenever you just have these opportunities that happen to start like panning out, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't really think that this would be a thing. So that's a super unique story, because I feel like you always hear people being like, yes, it was always my goal to be a pro soccer player, and that's all I ever worked for, and that's all I ever wanted. So it's really cool to hear that like it was just kind of you just kind of trusting what's going on and trusting your guts and the support around you. And I mean, you found yourself here, which we're all super grateful for, obviously, and we love having you here. So it's really cool that you're here and you found your way here. And you said you didn't really have pro soccer like so much in your plans for the future, like outside of just that combine and being kind of encouraged to try out for Lexington specifically, did you have anything on your radar as far as the Super League?
Nope.
No, it was, yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
the first that I heard about it was actually when the combine was sent to me.
Yeah.
So
That,
yeah, but I mean,
wow.
kind of going back to what you said, like at the beginning of the podcast,
Hmm.
about being a player for, younger players to look up to. That's kind of where I pride myself in my story. Just because I have not had the traditional, path to pro that most
Hmm.
players do have. Most of the time you hear they went to D1 schools, the top D1 schools, and then they were
Hmm.
recruited immediately. Where I've definitely taken the long, slow route, to get here. But it's always possible. And so just kind of being that beacon of light for those younger players that might not be in the position of playing, D1 soccer at the moment, like you can still pursue your dreams and your passions by other routes. So
I think that's really important for people to hear, because I feel like, and we see this in the soccer sphere and stuff, because sometimes all the talk of like, well, only this percentage of people goes to D1 and only this percentage of people becomes pro. Sometimes it can be a little defeatist for young players to hear that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with being honest and keeping people grounded. But I think it's also important to still like stoke dreams and make people feel like, you know what, like if I work hard and I believe in myself, who says no? Who says no, right? And I think that's what you have to do is bet on yourself a lot of times. And, statistics are statistics, whatever. But, sometimes it's just the plans are there and then you follow them, and you don't even know it's the plan and you find out, well, that was the plan. So I think that's really cool to hear from you.
Yeah.
What's been the most surprising or challenging aspect of like adjusting into professional soccer lifestyle?
This wasn't surprising for me at all. Actually, I knew that this was going to be a challenge for me, but it's actually talking with media.
What?
Yeah.
This is hard?
Well, okay. I will start off with that. Every media crew that I've dealt with, you guys are all great. You make it, very welcoming, a great environment to talk to, But the first time that I had a camera in front of my face, I just lost it. Like my whole right side of my face started twitching. And like you couldn't really tell that it was twitching, but because I could feel it twitching, that's all I could focus on. And I was like,
I know what you're talking about.
I understand that. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a complete like stress response. My body was like, what is going on?
I will be completely honest with you. It's the same way, like on the other end, like firsthand experience today. I went to meet the new men's coach and, I did the one-on-one interview and I was nervous and I like flubbed over my words too. So like, we're right there with you. There's a lot of anxiety in it.
Yeah. Now it might not be for like other people like Anna Medina and stuff. Like she's a pro. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, don't say something stupid, Tyler. Like ask a good question. Don't be like an idiot right now.
It's so intimidating, like standing there with like all these cameras just like in your face. And like then you don't know who to look to because you want to make eye contact with somebody when you're talking. And it's just I knew that this was going to be a challenge though coming into it. So we're working on it and we've made improvements. So
well, I hope this is easy enough for you though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and again, I watch this podcast a whole bunch and I've talked to you guys in person and whatnot. So like I knew that this was going to be an awesome thing for me to do. No stress involved. So
that's right. That's the goal. Zero stress. We don't want anybody stressing. Very cool. So like, let me ask you this. Okay. You're like really chill, really humble in my experience. We've talked quite a few times outside of the podcast, and I always like find you to be very just like calm, together, humble, all the above, gracious. Like, what is it that helps you like switch on in matches? Because you're like, you bring the intensity. Like you are an intense player. You're attacking. You're like aggressive. You're ready to score. Like, what kind of flips your mindset, or do you even feel like there's a flip when you're on the field?
I wouldn't say that it happens on the field. Anybody that knows me, and now y'all are going to know this as well, I am very about my routines. And so the routine starts even like the night before. The night before the game, I'm really big into like visualizations and like manifestations on what's going to happen during the game. So it definitely happens, the night before. When I'm home, I try to get Olive Garden the night before. So, and again, when we're traveling, I try to eat the same thing every single night, like before the game. But
can I ask what it is from Olive Garden?
The tour of Italy.
Okay.
I get the lasagna, the fettuccine, and the chicken parmesan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
actually haven't gotten sick of it yet because, like, again, I've been doing this probably for like a year now. So, like, even when I was playing in Chico in the Sunday leagues and the UPSL leagues and stuff, I would do the exact same thing as well. So yes, I'm big on my routines. Manifestations, visualizations, Olive Garden the night before. And then the day of the game, I have to have a PB&J before the game.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry. Another question. What kind of jelly?
Strawberry,
Yes.
preferably, or
Yeah.
raspberry, but
Oh my God.
Dang, no love
Yes.
for blackberry, huh? Yikes.
I'm honestly not that picky with my jelly, but if I have to choose, I'm gonna go strawberry or raspberry.
Fair.
To the point that when we would go on our away trips, I would actually pack all of my stuff for PB&Js because some of the hotels wouldn't have PB&J stuff at the breakfast stations or whatever.
Yeah.
And so just to make sure I got that routine out of the way, I would pack my own stuff.
So what we need every LSC fan to have a PBJ in their pocket just in case you forget, and that way you're ready. So that way we can get those goals.
Just in case.
Uncrustables?
I'm not a fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
I feel like those are desperation PB&Js when you're a
Okay.
kid. And
It's too fake to me. I'm not a fan.
Okay, well, it's
true.
not like it's an Uncrustable. It's not a PB&J. It's an Uncrustable. It's its own thing, guys.
This is weird. I just thought of the most brilliant. Like, we need to do this. There's the Jif factory in town. They need to be your sponsor, and they could shoot a commercial where, like, you're in the middle of a game. It could be like a Gatorade commercial, and just whenever the game's getting tough and everybody's looking around, like, are we gonna win? Then a kid just goes, Madi Parsons, and tosses you a PB&J, and you catch it, and just look at him and say, "Thanks, kid." Take a bite and score a goal.
We're just gonna send this clip to the Jiffy crew.
That's it. You're welcome, Jeff. We're not even gonna ask for royalties. Well, Maddie might, but like she needs to get paid. But me and Dylan aren't gonna get paid. We're poor no matter what. So you can just skip us and give them to Maddie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting your questions, but I needed to know. These are need to know things,
Yeah, I think these are very important answers. Answers that people need to know. So.
Yes. I want to ask you with those two, like, and I'm just curious about this with the routines. Is it more of like this food I know will fuel me and make me feel good? Is it a comfort thing, or is it almost like a superstition thing?
I think it's all three.
All three. I was gonna say, for me, it would probably be all three.
Yeah. Well, it probably had, because I don't really know when the PB&J thing started, because I didn't do that in Chico. And it must have happened after I played good. And then again, the superstition comes in. And I'm like, okay, like it fueled my body. I felt good during that game. I played good. So now we're going to add this to our routine. And so it stuck.
That's awesome.
So,
then I have pickles. I have to drink some pickle juice and eat some pickles before the game.
Yeah.
And then I actually give my jar of pickles to our athletic training staff. And then at halftime, I drink pickle juice and eat some pickles if I'm hungry mid-game for some energy.
This is so interesting.
Yeah. So if you ever see me on like the sidelines drinking pickle juice, it's part of my routine.
Listen, this is not unheard of. Like, I know I love to bring up the Philadelphia Eagles, but they were known for doing that back in the day, like at halftime and stuff, drinking pickle juice. So like, it's not bizarre to me, but it is like out of the norm.
A big thing with athletes.
Yeah. But I love to hear this. This is so cool.
Yeah, so I am obsessed with pickles. I love pickles. Even at work. So I worked at a financial planning company while I was in Chico. I was working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And my snack at work, I would sit there and eat the jar of pickles. And so I actually, we reached out to TJ Farms. And they are a local pickling company out in Chico. And I love their pickles. They're so good. And I actually am partnering with them. So they're hooking me up with some pickles and stuff. So I can make sure that I don't cramp during those games because,
So we got our pickles from Chico State coming in, or from Chico, and we just need to make sure, like, we got to work on this Jif factory thing.
Yeah,
we got to get it going. We got it. That's cool.
Yeah. And then more soccer related. Once I get to the stadium and stuff, it's kind of right as the gates are opening, before the games. But if you head right over to the field, you'll see me actually out there doing my activation stretching.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a series of probably like 10 to 15, stretches. But I am religious about these. I do it
Mm-hmm.
before I practice. I have been doing it for over 2 years now, like this exact routine. Um, and my friends in Chico, when I would be playing pickup and stuff, they would always make fun of me with the amount that I was stretching.
Yeah.
They're like, "You're just about to play pickup. Like, calm down. Don't take this so serious." But no, like the series of 10 to 15 stretches, like it that's what gets me in the mindset for the game. Um, so yeah, I do that, and then once I'm done with that, I will sit on the side of the field and kind of just visualize some more about what I'm going to do during the game, and kind of just take some deep breaths. Because after it was kind of during the first game against Carolina. I mean, again, that's the first time that I've really ever even played on TV. And
Mm-hmm.
so my nerves were through the roof. I was freaking out.
Oh man, yeah.
And so I just kind of sat off to the side for a second and took a few deep breaths, and I was able to calm myself down, got the nerves out, and we're on our way. So
Once
yeah.
the match starts, do you kind of like forget that there are cameras? Does it kind of like push itself to the back?
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of worried about that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be out in the field, like hearing what like fans are saying,
Uh-huh.
or like the cameras and stuff, like being worried if I mess up or whatever. I was shockingly surprised with the amount that I just block all of that out. Once I'm out there on the
Yeah.
field, we're ready, we're locked in. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So, like going into this, like you said, you're pretty superstitious. So, you have all your routines and everything. Whenever the club posts the, players walking into the stadium on match day, you always go all out with the fits. Is this like a look good, feel good, play good mentality? Is this like part of your routine?
It's not part of my routine. So I am a professional soccer player, and I am normally in shorts and a t-shirt, or shorts and a sweatshirt and sweats, and I'm not in regular clothes. And so whenever I get a chance to dress up and feel girly and look cute, I'm taking that opportunity. But I will say that the look good, play good, I mean, it's working. So
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Nice. I love that. Hey, so let me ask you, like, speaking of playing good, like, currently you are, like, if we're talking goals and assists, you're the leading goal contributor in the Super League, right? So you've even won Player of the Month in October, which is really, really cool. That was awesome to see. How does it feel to have that level of contribution to the team's success?
It's a surreal feeling. Every single time I talk about it, I'm like, is this real life? Because again, if you would have asked me a year and a half ago if I would ever be playing professional soccer, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you talking about? I work at a financial planning company. Like, it never was in my life plans. And so to come out here and to exceed, my own expectations and other people's expectations, by contributing to the team, in the way that I have, it's awesome. It's a surreal feeling. I'm really proud of what I've done so far. Not done. I'm not done. We're
Yeah.
only halfway through, and we got two
Right.
more games in this half of the season. But
Yeah.
I am proud of what I have done so far. Um, and I'm proud of our team.
Yeah.
Because those assists and those goals would not have happened without my teammates.
Yeah.
If you watch any of our games, it's a team effort. Starting
Mm-hmm.
from our goalie all the way up. Most of our goals are all like, a lot of people are involved in scoring those goals.
Yeah.
Um, and so as much as I love, the credit that, the league has given me, it really is, a team effort. And I couldn't do it without my teammates. So I'm very grateful for them as well.
That's such a beautiful thing about soccer is just like you can't just be like the person that's going to take it all the way. You know what I mean? Like no shade at like basketball and sports like that, but like you can be that person that's like, oh, I got the rebound. Now I'm going to run it all the way down the other end of the court and just score. And it is what it is. Soccer, it's pretty difficult to make something like that happen, go from one end to the other all on your own without any type of assistance, right? So it is truly, like you said, a huge team sport. And it's like Dylan and I saw that goal that you scored, that header, that, Autumn, I don't, what the heck? Like how she whipped her foot around and just slung it to you. That was insane. So that was like a peak example of a teammate serving it up, and then you with like the phenomenal header to just send it home. We were right in front of you guys when that happened, and we were losing our minds.
Well, I just remember, being in the middle, and the way Autumn was facing and everything, I was not expecting that ball to come my way at all. And you can kind of see, like, I kind of stepped back because I was like, oh shoot, I was like, the ball is right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was an awesome assist, and that started, with, Julie Mackin, getting that ball back in, and so
she hustled.
Yeah, and so it's a team effort every single time we score our goals, which makes the celebration and the environment in the locker room so much more fun and exciting because we've all worked so hard for this, and so we get to celebrate those wins together.
So going off this, you've already gotten the accolades from the league, but like even further than that, do you have any more goals for yourself? Like, is the golden boot in your sights?
I try not to pay attention to that stuff, just because, I'm out there, I'm trying to help my team win the game. If I score, great. If I assist, great. But I mean, obviously, I see the stats and, it's a great feeling that I, am contributing to my team the way that I am. But I wouldn't say that it's something that I focus on. If I focus on playing my game and helping my teammates and my team win the game, the goals and the assists will come naturally. So kind of trying to block all of that out. Because it gets in your head, because then you're like focused on it, and it makes you play differently. So I block all of that out, or at least I do my best to block it out, and just kind of focus on playing my game and doing whatever I can to help my team win. So,
do you have like a favorite goal that you scored of the season? Like one where you were just like, either, oh man, I can't believe that happened, or one where you were just like, that felt really good?
They're all my favorite in different ways. I mean, the goal that I scored, I mean, that's my first professional goal I'd ever scored. It was the first of, at home. Like, that was such a good feeling. And it was a header goal, which header goals always, feel better.
Yeah.
My favorite. I'm going to have to go with the one that I scored against Dallas. The one that was assisted by Sarah Cox.
Yeah.
That was a good goal.
That was a good goal. Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, and it's unfortunate. My mom was saying that they didn't even get on the Peacock televised version. They didn't even get like good footage of it. It was like a replay of it.
Yeah. Because it was like off screen, but then luckily like everybody started posting like the actual full thing, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, and again, even that goal, like it started with Sarah. It started with, our teams being organized in the back on that corner kick and stuff. So like, it's such, it doesn't matter how individual the goal was. It is such a team effort. And I mean, that assist by Sarah, hands down, like that was amazing.
Yeah. That was, she dropped a dime.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, because I remember like running across and being like, I don't think she's gonna hit it, and then she hit it, and I was like, oh, she hit it. Okay.
Yeah. I think it like threw Dallas off too. I think they were just like, what just happened? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. Well, and the goalie was so far off the line, and like I just kind of looked up, and like you kind of in the video you can kind of see me quickly look up, but I saw how far off her line was, and I was like, all right, well, here we go. We're gonna try.
Cowabunga, it is. Yeah.
But it was one of those goals, like when you make a good contact with the ball, like you hit that ball good. I was like,
yeah.
How awesome does that feel?
There's no other feeling like it.
So
amazing.
In games, we see you sometimes play as a pure striker, but sometimes we see you drop into midfield, play more of a 10 role. How would you define your position?
I would define my position as a utility player, utility position.
That's
Um,
very interesting.
yeah, my preference is to play the 9. I think that that's where I, provide the most benefit, and where I'm most confident in, that position. Um, but I've, had many conversations with our coaching staff about, if they see me better fit in this formation with the players that we have and whatnot. Um, Lower on the field as the 10. I played the 6 at one point. And so if they see me, if my team needs me in, the 6, 8, or 10 lower on the field, I'm happy to step into those roles. So yeah, wherever my team needs me, that's where I'll play. So
Okay.
Nice.
It's interesting because I feel like you're very good with the ball at your feet, and I feel like your link up play with your other teammates is one of your best attributes. So it's interesting to hear you say that you like to play as a pure 9, but I feel like you have more strength than just a pure 9.
yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be a striker. Everybody wants to go up there and score. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the fun
Yeah.
part. But like I said, I did play the majority of my club career playing the 6. And so I do have, a lot of experience in that field, or in those positions. But yeah, I like playing the 9. But again, if my coaching
Yeah.
staff sees something that I don't see, and they think that I'm better for the team in the midfield, I'm happy to play there. I'm grateful to be out on the field because there are so many players, on the team that want to be out there on like in any position. There are so many players that aren't even in the USL Super League yet that want to be in one of those positions.
Yeah.
So kind of taking a step back and just kind of being grateful for whatever position they put me in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Maddie, we're kind of like getting to the end of this. We don't want to keep you too long because this has been like a super good episode. And we know that you got to get rest because we have a job to do Saturday against
Thanks.
Brooklyn. They think that they're going to do something just because they're in first place. Whatever. That's what I say.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared at all. That's right. That's what I'm saying. But I do want to ask you, like, so we got to get some people out there to these games. And like with the cold weather coming, of course, it's like people are like, oh man, like, I don't know if I want to bundle up, but they should because it's amazing to come watch you guys play. What would be like your sales pitch to get people to come out that haven't experienced a Super League game yet?
For this Brooklyn game specifically?
Whatever. This Brooklyn game in general, whatever you want to spin it as.
I mean, Lexington Sporting Club kind of has it all. We have a brand new state-of-the-art stadium that is so beautiful just to even look at. We got family, fun games, activities for the younger kids. We have too many horses. Like, how many soccer games can you go to and say that you saw too many horses? Thunder and
Zero
Lightning.
besides us.
Thunder and Lightning. You get to see, amazing, classy women's soccer, that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. One thing that we do guarantee is our games will be entertaining,
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think that we're, there's no better experience than, being in the Lexington Sporting Club Stadium. And, if we're talking about, the Brooklyn game specifically, we are hosting a toy drive for local kids in the Lexington area. And so if you would like to, show up and give back to the community, that would also be amazing. You can bring a toy and it will be donated to a local kid. So, yeah.
Co-signing all that.
Yeah.
Co-signing all that.
I
Yes.
think that kind of going off the the kid aspect is that Lexington Sporting Club prides itself in supporting the younger generation of kids and younger soccer players and stuff, and it's something that I really admire about the club. And so yeah, it's just a good club to come out and support. So
Love that answer.
Yeah.
That's brilliant and great plug for Saturday for bringing in the Toys for Tots.
yeah.
It's always awesome to give back, especially during this time of year. And there's all kinds of other fun stuff happening. Like they got the free Santa hats that are LSC geared, right? And then I think I saw like ornament creation and it's all kinds of good stuff. I'm really loving the theme nights that are happening at you guys' games here recently?
I tried to dress for the Taylor Swift theme that we had last week, but
Yeah.
it was windy that day, and I was like, this outfit's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be focused on the game. I can't be focused on this outfit right now.
I
So,
totally get it. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, you know what? Mentally,
yeah,
I'm there.
yeah.
I love it. Well, Maddie, it's been so awesome having you on here. I'm so glad that we have managed to set this all up and that you could find the time to join us and we're willing to do so, because I think that a lot of people really enjoy watching you and the team as a whole play, and they really appreciate how much effort you guys are putting in every week to really do us proud on the pitch. You know, I feel like, as you said, you guys are insanely entertaining to watch. That's 100% a fact. I don't think that anybody could watch one of you all's games and be like, man, I could have taken a nap. You know, like that's just not the vibe of any of these games. Like, it's always anything can happen, and you never know who's going to show out or what's going to go down, especially, you know, at the last second. You guys
Sometimes
always
we
give
make it
us
a little
something.
too interesting, so I apologize for that. But
It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's all good, because at the end of the day, we have moments to cheer for. So
Yeah.
it's amazing.
yeah, well, thank you for having me. And as always, you know, me and my teammates, you know, we all really appreciate the support that you and all of our fans provide us. You know, again, Saturday is going to be cold, so we appreciate everybody that's going to bundle up and come out there and support us. And yeah, we're going to get that win on Saturday. So.
Yes, 100%. And hopefully everybody capitalized on all like the LSE gear sales. And so now they have plenty of like
Yes.
green layers to just put on and come like the kid off of A Christmas Story, just ready for action. We might not be able to clap our hands because we're wearing too many layers, but we can still shout.
Yes. Well, I'm
Great.
looking forward to seeing all the bundled up people out there.
For sure.
I'll make
All
sure
right,
to
everybody.
fist bump your arm, you know? It's like, hey.
That's awesome. Great. Hey, so everybody, seriously though, make sure you come out and support. No, it's chilly, but layers, I don't know. We can bundle together for warmth if you really want to. I'm a friendly guy. But come out and support this team, please. They deserve all the support you can muster. 2 games before we go into the winter break. One this weekend, one the following weekend, both theme nights. I believe the last one is fan appreciation. So, in fact, it's during the middle of the day now. It's like at noon instead of at night. So it's going to be a little bit warmer than what it would be otherwise. So that's good. You at least will have sun as opposed to no sun. But come out, support the team. It's a great time. Bring the family, and come on, you Greens.